Hey folks, Papa D here from David Deliver Space, coming to you on a dreary Thursday afternoon in middle Florida. We are awaiting the, turn down my monitors there, we're awaiting the potential launch of the National Reconnaissance payload that is going off on a United Launch Alliance ULA Heavy. The Delta IV Heavy is going to be taking that into orbit this afternoon. We've had a couple of delays so far, and right now we are just pending a potential T0 of 2:45 Central Daylight Time. As I'll show you here in just a second, we've got some weather that's causing us some issues. Two main issues are looking to be low-level clouds and wind. And I'll just show you the wind graphic here. I want to also start by saying thank you to our subscribers, and also to more big important today to meteoblue. They have given us the authorization to utilize their weather data and maps for our broadcast, and a shout out to them. They are giving us a home run, because this data is certainly weather with wind right now on this graphic is showing up as being running out of the northwest, and it's running in the. This is also a ground plot, so the ground winds are going to be the issue, and this is showing a ground plot issue of 21 to 25 miles per hour off coast. And I'll bring that in a little bit further. You'll see we are still running 12 to 15 miles per hour at the Cape. So that's the issue. And then on the other side of the coin, we have the cloud cover, and right now it is intermittent at best. We've had some rain here, and the cloud cover, the low-level cloud cover, is going to be the overwhelming issue. I'm going to switch over here really quick to the launch mission execution forecast for you. As you can see, today, launch day, is showing a 30% chance of violating weather constraints. And those weather constraints are the scattered low to upper level cloud cover and ground winds. And again, we can switch over and you can see, but put the split screen up there for you so you get both of them. But we certainly have cloud cover, and we certainly have the lower level winds that are still potentially being an issue. So at this point, we are standing by for T0, but this launches just a couple of seconds here, and I'm going to run these maps for you so you can keep an eye on it as we get closer to T0. We expect ULA to go live about 30 minutes before the potential T0, and we will certainly carry that as it comes up. But the Delta IV Heavy, this is its final flight. The Delta IV Heavy has been a workhorse and is now being replaced. It is the ULA Vulcan, which we carried the maiden flight of the Vulcan, is the replacement for the Delta Heavy series. And the Delta Heavy, again, it's been a workhorse. This is the 45th flight, which the first Delta IV flew back in 2002, although the original developments of that reach back further into the 90s. The Delta II flew back in 1989, I believe, 1990, and then over the years has migrated into the multi-use Delta IV. Delta IV can have multiple combinations of side boosters, and has been the workhorse especially for the DoD and the heavy launches. But now, like I said, with the Vulcan coming on board with oh my goodness, Blue Origin's upcoming hopeful heavy lift rocket. You've got, of course, SpaceX's Falcon Heavy. and ultimately the Starship. So a whole lot going on, and this is the, like I said, the final curtain call for the current version Delta IV Heavy. The flight, just a little aside, the Delta number assigned to this flight is D389, and we're hoping for an on-time and an exciting launch. But this is the end of an era as we move into the new era of multiple heavy lift operators, including ULA. Although now we're not sure. We start hearing rumors about ULA being possibly purchased, and Blue Origin being floated around. But that's another story, another rumor for another day. But again, we're going to be standing by, and at this point, everything is looking still as a go for a T0 of 2:45 Central Time. So what I'm going to do for the time being, until we get a little bit closer to launch time and get a little bit more definitive heads up on where that's going to be, we'll run the graphics, keep the meteorological data up to date so you all can follow along with that. I will bring up any kind of changes, and we'll put those up for you as we, again, get closer to T0 and are able to hopefully bring you a great launch today. And just as an aside, can't bring that up right now, but I pulled up the weekly planning forecast. I'll get that for you later. But that is showing today is about a 30% chance of a violation. Tomorrow is even worse, and I think the 96-hour forecast wasn't a whole lot better, but we are expecting a very solid, nice Easter weekend down here in Florida. So the further out we get, if they can reschedule and if the window is available, we may have to go that far. But we're really hoping that 30% chance is enough to get us in the air today. Stand by. Again, I'll bring you updates as we get closer to T0. It's about 1 hour and 5 minutes until the most recent T0. I want to thank my thanks again. Number one, thank you to meteoblue. Thank you for giving us the green light to carry the maps and data that they provide. Meteo is out of Switzerland, and they've been great, and they've got a great product. If y'all are looking for data and for weather data, there is so much out there that they provide, and it's an amazing company, an amazing product. And again, my heartfelt thanks for giving us the green light to use this data on our broadcast. I think it would be it's a real positive thing, and a lot of good information to the subscribers. Also want to thank my subscribers. You guys are awesome. We are hitting new milestones all the time recently, but we will continue to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, watch the videos, hit that bell. That'll let us notify you when we have a new video or a new live event coming online. And we'd love to have you out here and be part of the family, like I said, and enjoy what we are trying to bring to you folks here from Central Florida. Very fortunate to be here and love to bring this coverage to y'all. So with that said, I'll go on standby, bring these maps up, we'll rotate them through, and you'll be able to see what the current conditions are down here at the Cape. And again, we're hoping in about an hour to be able, or about 30 minutes or so, to be able to go live with ULA, and then hopefully shortly thereafter have an on-time launch of the final, I hate to say that, but the final version of the ULA Delta IV Heavy. So we'll stand by. Enjoy. We'll talk to you very shortly. D here. Just want to touch back with you shortly, briefly here. Looks like ULA is going live in about 10 minutes. We're going to switch over to that. I want to thank ULA for we can bring that to y'all. But it looks to be just over 10 minutes. They're going to go live with their broadcast. We'll still try to check in going on. Again, we've got these awesome views, maps, and data because meteoblue has given us that permission, and we appreciate that. We appreciate them allowing us to carry such high quality data to our viewers on launch day. With that, we'll stand by again, and as soon as we will take you to that. We are still looking at a T0, best we can tell. That we're still at 2:45 Central Daylight Time, which would put us out at about 41 minutes. So we'll stand by here, guys. Thanks for stopping by and being with us today. And we will bring you to the launch coverage as soon as it becomes available through the feed. are just standing by here, expecting any moment to be able to go left for that feed. Bring it to you as soon as it begins. Thank you for stopping by. Look forward to bringing you hopefully a great launch.
Good afternoon. I'm Andrea Lenhoff. I'm a systems engineering leader at ULA and your host for today's live broadcast of the final Delta Heavy carrying NROL-70 for the National Reconnaissance Office. I'm here at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida, where liftoff is currently scheduled for 2:45 p.m. Eastern. In addition to watching our webcast, you can also follow live mission progress at ulalaunch.com. The count is currently in a planned hold. We have 2 planned holds in our launch count, which give our team time to resolve any issues prior to entering the terminal count. At this time, the team is not working any issues and we're proceeding towards an on-time liftoff. Live mission coverage will continue through payload fairing jettison, which occurs approximately 6.5 minutes after liftoff. To tell us more about today's mission customer, let's go to ULA's Ben Chilton over at the Friends and Family Viewing Area on the NASA Causeway.
Thanks, Andrea. I'm Ben Chilton, an ordnance engineer at ULA, and I'm joining you from the NASA Causeway, just a few miles south of Space Launch Complex 37. Today's launch is for the National Reconnaissance Office, or NRO. The NRO is the leader in developing, acquiring, launching, and operating the nation's intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance satellites to secure and expand America's advantage in space. The NROL-70 mission will strengthen the NRO's ability to provide a wide range of timely intelligence information to national decision makers, warfighters, and intelligence analysts to protect the nation's vital interests and support humanitarian efforts worldwide. Back to you, Andrea.
This is the 16th and final flight of the Delta IV Heavy rocket and ULA's 160th launch. Here's more about this heavy lift rocket.
Designed by ULA's engineering team and built by our skilled technicians, the Delta IV Heavy rocket, once fully stacked, stands 235 feet and weighs 1.6 million pounds fully fueled. At the base of the rocket is the triple booster first stage, powered by 3 RS-68A engines, which together produce more than 2 million pounds of thrust at liftoff. Atop the center booster is the Delta Cryogenic Second Stage, or DCSS, powered by an RL-10B2 engine. Spacecraft are encapsulated inside a 5-meter diameter metallic tri-sector payload fairing. With production of the final Delta complete, the rocket travels from ULA's factory in Alabama to the launch site in Cape Canaveral on ULA's rocket ship. Once in Florida, ULA's launch operations team begins a series of events leading to today's countdown. The process begins by transporting and lifting the booster and DCSS onto the launch table at Space Launch Complex 37. Then, the encapsulated payload fairing is lifted and mated to the DCSS. Once fully assembled, the launch countdown begins when 40 hydraulic cylinders at pressures nearing 3,500 psi raise the Mobile Service Tower, or MST, about 8 inches. The carriage transporter system then moves the MST to its launch position, approximately 345 feet north of the rocket. 10 million pounds, the 100-foot wide, 300-foot tall MST protects the rocket and payload from weather here on Florida's Space Coast. With the rocket on the pad, the launch team transitions to fueling and other final preparations. Across the interstage of the Delta IV Heavy rocket is the American flag and the Space Force, Delta, and ULA logos. Note the number 389 inside the Delta logo, signifying this launch's place in Delta history. Additionally, on the fixed umbilical tower, we see mission artwork. Provided by the NRO, the art features a snow leopard, representing the NRO's quiet strength and providing an advantage to community, the nation, and its allies.
Today's flight is dedicated in memory of colleagues who are no longer with us. Let's remember our teammates.
Today's flight is dedicated to Doug Thompson, Mark Cox, Brent Bonar, and George Lucian. After working as a pipe fitter for high-purity systems, Doug Thompson joined Boeing's internal upper stage program, later transitioning to the Delta program. Doug supported many Delta rockets and facilities during his career, including Delta vehicles launching from the Cape's Slick 17 and Slick 37 and Vandenberg's Slick 6, in addition to solid rocket booster and payload facilities and the machine shop. In his personal time, Doug and family traveled throughout Florida and Georgia, enjoying his He will be missed. As a U.S. Army veteran, Mark Cox began his aerospace career in 1984 at McDonnell Douglas, then Boeing, and eventually ULA. Following his transfer from ULA's Pueblo site to the Decatur, Alabama factory, Mark was instrumental in establishing the metrology lab there and in standardizing measurement and test equipment calibration across all ULA sites. He was respected by his peers throughout the industry and developed many personal relationships over the years, always resilient and positive. Mark encouraged his teammates to face adversity while continuing to care for others. He will be greatly missed. Godspeed, Sergeant Cox. Brent Bonar joined Aerojet Rocketdyne as a space propulsion mechanic in 2006 and contributed to the safe delivery of nearly every RL-10 engine through his last mission, NROL-68, in 2023. A loving husband, Brent was also a tireless volunteer, deeply committed to helping others, including 3 trips to the Bahamas in 2019 to support residents following Hurricane Dorian. This effort led Mark to logging more than 600 volunteer hours and being recognized as Aerojet Rocketdyne's 2019 Volunteer of the Year. Brent was kind and generous and a role model to many people. He will be missed. George Lucian began his career in 1960 as an electrical systems engineer with the General Dynamics Corporation, following his time at the University of Nebraska, where he earned a bachelor's degree in mathematics. In 1964, after working at the General Electric Company on the Apollo program, George began a new chapter at the Goddard Space Flight Center, followed by a move to the Kennedy Space Center. During his NASA career, George was an engineer, branch chief, division chief, and assistant launch manager, all in support of NASA's Expendable Launch Vehicle Services program. His career spanned 60 years and more than 400 launches. George was an invaluable team member, a mentor to many, and a true friend to all.
Perform CBC LOX fill and drain valve cycle test.
Roger.
L minus 21 minutes.
Field 2, perform second stage LH2 fill and drain valve cycle test.
Roger.
LOX 2, perform second stage LOX fill and drain valve cycle test.
Roger.
Since 1960, Delta rockets have been an integral part of America's space program. The on-orbit assets it has launched have improved life across the globe. Let's take a look.
Following more than 60 years lifting historic missions to space and becoming a pillar in American rocketry, the Delta program is coming to a close with its final launch. Here's a look back at some of the groundbreaking firsts and iconic missions launched on Delta rockets. Delta quickly established its record of excellence in the 1960s, launching ECHO, the world's first communication satellite, Tyros, the first space-based weather observatory, and NASA's Pioneer and Explorer scientific spacecraft. The introduction of the Delta II rocket on Valentine's Day 1989 ushered in the GPS era, and a capability that improves life on Earth every day, from navigation to banking, agriculture, and beyond. The beloved Delta II earned its place in history with 155 flights, with 8 of those missions to Mars for NASA, including the Spirit and Opportunity rovers. The Delta program's commitment to vehicle improvement to meet customer needs culminated in the Delta IV family of launch vehicles, with a wide range of increased capabilities. Delivering missions for the Space Force, National Reconnaissance Office, NASA, and commercial clients, every Delta IV launch has been successful. As America's trusted heavy lifter, the triple-barrel Delta IV Heavy launched the first Orion spacecraft on an uncrewed shakedown cruise and sent the Parker Solar Probe to surf the atmosphere of the Sun. The 16th and final flight of the Delta IV Heavy rocket carries NROL-70, capping off the incredible legacy of this program.
The Delta program has been an important part of many of our employees' careers. We recently spoke with employees about what the Delta rocket has meant to them.
We started this program with the tremendous task of continuing the Delta mission success tradition.
It has been the heavy lift workhorse, supporting the missions that no other vehicle could, and have made a tremendous difference for this nation.
The assets that we launch with Delta are crucial to our warfighter and have really allowed us to sustain our capability not only in space, but also just on the ground and keeping the entire world in a better place.
That ability to impact the nation in what we can do, our technologies, as well as our reach into space. It's just an honor. There's no other way to say it.
Look at what we, as part of the team, have done to improve life on Earth. All things to be extremely proud of.
The first launch, you kind of kept your fingers crossed and your toes crossed. We all stood out in the main part of the factory here and watched it, and it's just something that you do and say whatever makes you comfortable for that very first launch.
Watching the Delta IV Heavy right outside the door of the Delta Operations Center and feeling the vibration and just amazement.
I was at the launch site in the dock for the NROL-70 mission, and the experience when that thing lifted off of the acoustics and literally seeing the windows flexing from the acoustics of that liftoff was something I will never forget.
I've been down to the launch site, been on the pad, been on cranes up and down a heavy vehicle, been able to support on console, and been part of the day of launch activities. So I've seen it from a unique perspective. Those memories will always stick out.
We took a lot of lessons from Delta. Aluminum skins, machined, brake formed, welded together with friction stir welding. The first time we used that was on the Delta IV program.
One lesson learned from Delta launches is our record of mission success and our focus on mission success, making sure that all of our launches accomplished what we wanted and delivered the payload for our customers.
The teamwork with suppliers and across the program itself. It's a really complex vehicle, and so being able to bring the whole team together and deliver Delta for that many years has been brought over into the bulk.
Together, and it's magic.
Launch conductor is only one little cog in the whole process. This is a team sport, and the team has done nothing but a phenomenal job.
Taking pride in your work and treating everything as if it's the most important job you'll ever do is something that I will keep with me for the rest of my career.
Well, it's bittersweet, of course. We all thought we could do this a lot longer because we love it so much.
It's been a wonderful rocket to work on over these years, and I'm going to miss it.
It is the most amazing rocket I could ever imagine, this Delta IV Heavy.
I'm just proud to have been a part of this team and was able to better my career by working alongside an amazing team.
The legacy of Delta will live on in the Vulcan rocket and in the people that make it a reality and have taken the best of what Delta has accomplished and carry that forward into the future.
Bell minus 14 minutes.
As gas, establish scan pattern 140. Roger. VSE, verify base bending moment. Instrumentation is active and data is valid.
BBM is fully mission capable. Recommend placard 6 Alpha for launch.
Roger. OS, set BBM active.
Roger.
With this launch, we are also remembering an NRO teammate. Here is Mission Director, Colonel Eric Zaribaninski.
This is the MD. This afternoon's NROL-70 launch is dedicated to the memory of Colonel Edward Chip Zakrzewski. Chip dedicated his career to the advancement of space launch and to the success of NRO missions. He was a fierce advocate and leader for the Office of Space Launch and in the broader space launch community. Chip was the OSL director for the first Delta IV Heavy launch, so it is only fitting that the last Delta IV Heavy launch is dedicated to him. To our leader, mentor, and friend, Godspeed, Chip. MD out.
Minus 12 minutes.
MEQ, initiate retract data logger just prior to the L7 pole. Roger.
After liftoff, the Delta IV Heavy will head east from Space Launch Complex 37. Here's a look at today's ascent.
To mitigate the fireball created by the hydrogen-burning Delta IV Heavy rocket, the staggered engine start sequence begins with ignition of the launch table HBOs, burning off the excess hydrogen injected into the flame duct. Next, the starboard Delta IV ROFI lights, igniting its RS-68A engine. Then, the center and port RS-68A engines ignite to generate more than 2.1 million pounds of total thrust to lift the 1.6 million pound triple-core rocket off the pad. Shortly after liftoff, Delta begins a pitchover to attain the proper flight path, while minimizing the pressure the vehicle experiences during flight. Delta then reaches Mach 1, the speed of sound, followed by the rocket reaching maximum dynamic pressure as it travels through Earth's atmosphere. With propellant depleted in the port and starboard boosters, carries the last payload to launch on a Delta IV rocket to its final orbital destination, where it will begin its national security mission.
As we can continue the countdown to launch, let's head over to Ben Chilton on the NASA Causeway.
Of ULA friends and family excited to witness the last liftoff of this magnificent rocket. I'm approximately 3 miles from Slick 37, and when we reach T0, it will take about 15 seconds for the sound to reach us, though we'll already have seen Delta lift off the pad. From where I'm standing, it's a little windy at the moment, but I'll pass it off to Space Launch Delta 45 Weather Officer Arlena Moses for today's weather forecast.
Thanks, Ben. As you mentioned, it is a little breezy out there this afternoon, and that's going to be our main weather watch item for our launch.
Two. Go. Second stage system blocks.
Go.
LH2.
Go.
Electrical systems airborne.
Go.
Ground.
Go.
Facility.
Go.
RFFTS.
Go.
Flight control.
Go.
COM. Go. GCQ.
Go.
Operation support.
Go.
Pneumatics.
Go.
Umbilicals.
Go.
HAZ gas.
Go.
ECS.
Go.
Radar monitor.
Go.
Mechanical engineering.
Go.
Quality.
Go.
Ops safety manager.
Go.
UA safety officer.
Go.
Vehicle system engineer. Go. Anomaly chief.
Go.
Range coordinator.
Clear to proceed.
Launch director.
Launch vehicle is ready to launch.
Mission director.
You have permission to launch.
Proceeding with the count. ALC. Verify T0 is set for 18:45:000.
Verified.
MAQ. Establish swing arm lock pins. Pull.
Active.
Polling is complete and the team is go for launch. From T-minus 4 minutes until liftoff, you'll hear Scott Barney and the team performing the final steps in the countdown procedure. Several critical activities occur in the final minutes before launch, including verifying fuel tank levels and pressures in the 3 boosters and the DCSS, in addition to arming the flight termination system. At T-minus 1 minute, the Range Operations Commander confirms the range is in a green condition for launch. At T-minus 15 seconds, the launch table HBOs at the base of the rocket are ignited to burn off excess hydrogen. At T-minus 7 seconds, the starboard engine is ignited. At T-minus 5 seconds, the port and center engines are ignited. Once the Delta IV Heavy lifts off, you'll hear flight commentator Rob Gannon providing launch vehicle ascent data. This is Delta Mission Control at T-minus 4 minutes and holding. We anticipate releasing the hold in just a few moments.
minutes and counting.
Hold, hold, hold. This is flight control. We have a CCLS red line fault at T-minus 3 minutes and 58 seconds.
LC switch not ready. All personnel go to recycle steps for operation 90. Okay, LC switch is not ready.
Flight control is ready to set clock to T-minus 4 and holding.
Roger. ALC, reset countdown clock to T-minus 4 minutes and holding.
Roger. Flight control, SSBAP inactive and SCS in pre-flight mode.
Roger. And prop lead, evaluate LOX recycle and report if ready to recycle.
Roger. Red line that we've...
OSM, place the SRM ignition switch to disable position.
SRM ignition disabled.
ALC, count. Disregard.
LC countdown clock has been reset to T-minus 4 and holding.
Roger. For step 90, all stations recycle systems back T-minus 4 holding in configuration. Recycle occurred at T-minus 3 minutes, 58 seconds. Report status at completion.
LC fuel 1.
Go fuel 1.
Substep golf. CBC LH2 inerting is active. Excuse me. LH2 conditioning is active.
Roger.
LC FTS.
Go.
Substat Juliet, FTS safe and external.
Roger.
LC LOX 2.
Go.
Second stage LO2 conditioning active.
Roger.
LC LOX 1.
Go.
CBC LOX conditioning active.
Roger.
Yep, that's right.
LC ECS.
Go.
ECS set point stable.
Roger.
LC fuel 2.
Go.
Second stage LH2 conditioning active.
Roger.
LC SYS.
Go.
GC3 ready.
Roger.
LC has gas.
Go.
Step Foxtrot has gas ready. And as MEQ, should I reinstall lock pins?
Yes, let's install pins.
Roger.
LC AB.
Go.
For substep Papa, vehicle external.
Roger.
LC Prep 101.
Go.
All systems are stable.
Roger.
LC flight control.
Go flight control.
Step 180, substep Kilo, flight control ready.
Roger.
LC MEQ.
Go.
Substep Oscar, TSM and swing arm systems ready.
Roger.
And substep Alpha, pneumatic pressures stable.
Roger.
LC HOE.
Go.
Hydraulic system stable.
Roger.
This is Delta Mission Control at T-minus 4 minutes and holding. The planned hold has been extended. We will pass on more information as it becomes available.
Detanking. And LD, just to confirm, we're in a scrub declaration for a 24-hour turnaround.
Stand by for that.
Roger. GELC.
G.
Verify TISR status for India.
Just ready.
Roger. All right, team, we've given it direction. Recycle is now complete. We get direction to proceed into detanking. Okay, for the team, we'll be or standby.
This is Delta Mission Control. It's confirmed that we will not continue with the NROL-70 launch activities today. We have a 24-hour recycle. Our next launch attempt will be tomorrow at 1:37 p.m. Eastern. For up-to-date information, please visit ulalaunch.com. I'm Andrea Linhoff. Thanks for joining us.
All right, folks. Well, a couple things happened there, but the big thing is that we did have a scrub today. No indication of the cause for it, but it was close to the T0 time. They were below 4 minutes and past that mandatory hold, and we did have a scrub. And in the middle of that, had some stream problems, had to reboot stream. So certainly when things go awry, they go awry altogether, but glad we were able to get back at least for the conclusion of today's activities. They're on a 24-hour recycle now. They're going to reattempt, as they indicated, the launch tomorrow at 1:37 Central Daylight Time, and we will be back for that and give it another shot. Do apologize for the drop in the stream. All of a sudden everything went down, and thankfully, my modern technology and my backup systems allowed me to bring that back up pretty quick and get you all back on board. We will shoot for another attempt tomorrow, like I said, at 1:37. We'll probably go live about an hour before, double check the weather, make sure we're at. Initial weather indications, though, were not good. Not as good, I should say, as today. Tomorrow is looking at a 60% chance of scrub per the 45th Space Weather Squadron. We'll keep an eye on that, and right now we were having as you can see, we were having a perfect time of the winds and the cloud cover to be blowing offshore. But hopefully we'll be able to hold off tomorrow and be able to pull this off and get it in the air. So with that being said, I want to say thank you to ULA for allowing that broadcast to go out, allowing us to be a part of that. We will be back and try it again tomorrow. Definitely want to say thank you again. A big thanks to meteoblue for allowing David Deliver Space to carry their data and their maps, assisting us to show you what's going on there from the weather perspective, which is always a big part of any launch down here in Central Florida. Would like to thank my subscribers, and I'd like to thank any new subscribers that feel free to look around, see what you see, and if you like what you see, we'd love to have you on board and member of the team. We try to bring every launch we possibly can to you. We do have another launch, and I want to just double check the timing on that. This afternoon we had a scheduled Falcon, and I want to make sure that that is still up before I apologize for that. Sometimes you have things right in front of you, and other times you just don't. But we are still a go. We have a Starlink launch 718, supposed to go off tonight at 10:30 p.m. out of Vandenberg. So we'll see what happens on the West Coast this evening. That's a standard 23 payload version 2 mini sats for the Starlink constellation. So we'll be back tonight to carry that. Please come on back, and we'll probably go live on that somewhere around 15 minutes before. That would be about 10:15 Central Daylight Time. And we look forward to seeing you back for that. Again, thank you to all the subscribers. Thank you to the new subscribers. And definitely thank you to meteoblue. And we appreciate all the support. We'll see you back here this evening. Thanks for coming out. See you again later.